by way of knockout, with only the one single defeat and one draw. Coming to the ring as the former welterweight champion of the Commonwealth, presenting from Robert Town, the Lord of the Manor, James Hare. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing his now familiar red, white and blue coloured shorts. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stone, 6.5 pounds. He's a proud, undefeated boxer, 15 contests, 15 wins, 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he makes the third defense of his crown and aims to win the Lonsdale belt outright. Presenting the welterweight champion of Great Britain from Manchester, David Barnes. Timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Gary Grenham from Burnley, and the star referee in charge of the action is Mr. Marcus McDonnell from Essex. 12 rounds of boxing.
This is for the Welterweight Championship of Great Britain over 12 rounds. I spoke to you about this wrestling, you know what I expect. I want you to act like professionals at all times and obey my instructions. Watch your heads and break when I tell you. Good luck, baby. Let's go to work, lads.
The historic British Welterweight Championship on the line here in an eagerly anticipated matchup within the trade. This title, which goes back a century to when Charlie Allam was the first title holder. Held in the meantime by the likes of John H. Tracy, Lloyd Hannigan, Colin Jones, Gary Jacobs, Cliff and Brian Kirby's, and so on. British champion David Barnes, the southpaw from Manchester, 23 years of age, up against the former Commonwealth champion, the silky smooth at times, James Hare, from just down the road at Robert Town near Huddersfield. The blue waistband of the champion Barnes, who's fast and hits hard on the back foot as well, sometimes.
Well, I think in recent form, Barnes is the one who's been showing improvement, whereas Hare's career's maybe plateaued a little bit. I still think this is a fight the Barnes camp would maybe have preferred 9 months down the line, because Hare will pose problems he's never seen before. He has to get on top of him, can't allow him to dictate the pace, but he started well, Barnes, looking very sharp and accurate.
His trainer Brian Hughes says he's never seen him more committed. He was certainly very nervous around the hotel this afternoon, which is a good sign. The adrenaline was there, but properly controlled adrenaline. This is his third defence of the British title. He won so controversially against Jimmy Vincent, who's here at ringside, and says he wants to fight the winner, and he hopes it's a rematch with Barnes, who started with some nice fast shots.
Well, Barnes has claimed the centre of the ring, which is the first thing you want to do against Hare. Good concentration, looking very relaxed. His own defences are not too tight. I expected the hands up and the chin down, but he looks very relaxed and very confident.
Two natural counter punches, perhaps, these two. Some people wonder whether this could become tactical and technical. Nice right hand from Hare, and knows how to pick his punches, and was very highly ranked until a year ago by the IBF in the top 10. Then he came a cropper against Cosme Rivera, a bit fatigued and jaded, probably too many fights in too short a time, and has rebuilt with a couple of wins since then. A 2-1 on favourite with the bookies for this, by the way. Hare is in the plain white trunks, remember, with the bulk of the support, and it has to be said it's a volatile atmosphere here tonight in Huddersfield.
So that can sometimes be a problem, boxing with the home support, because you are the one expected to put up the show. You're the one who wants to forced to commit himself when things go that little bit quiet, and Hare is an excellent counter puncher. That's what he excels in. He's having to go forward here, commit himself, and for me he's not got the better of things in the first round. Close round, but I think Barnes has been that little bit sharper so far.
Just looking to pick up the pace a little towards the end of the round. He apparently too looking very good in the build-up to the fight by all accounts. Both pretty respectful of each other. No grudge match this. A pair of them like each other enough out of the ring. Not in it.
Face will keep drawing them leads and slipping. Little left uppercuts will work.
Chris Aston with James Hare in the corner.
Well, I thought David Barnes was the one who settled that little bit quicker. He seemed to settle immediately. Hare began to do so as the round wore on. So shaping up like the even match we thought it would be.
Second round, round 2.
Second round, the blue waistband of British champion David Barnes. And the all-white of James Hare, who's 5 years older at 28. He's had twice as many fights, and generally at a slightly better level. He's beaten people like Jan Bergman, a former world-class fighter, and Julian Holland as well in 6 rounds. A rather faded Australian Julian Holland, it has to be said, when Hare beat him, but it was a great win. Barnes looks confident and is looking to just take the fight to Hare.
And he's imposing the southpaw jab a little bit more. He's moving the way he wants to move. Here has to try to get outside of that jab. He has a very casual approach at times here, cute and casual, but you sometimes wonder, can it let him down at the top level? Hasn't let him down too often, it must be said.
Sometimes he's almost too much of the nice guy, with a slightly laid-back approach to the business.
Well, he's having to do the leading, and he doesn't look altogether comfortable with it here. Barnes is firing off 2 or 3 counters at a time.
Something of the chess match element already brought into play here. Both waiting for the other to lead, particularly Hare. It might be quite tricky to score this as well.
Well, here's the one doing the forcing, but I think Barnes looking more relaxed, more comfortable with what's going on.
Nice right hand there. Yeah, it was over the top from Hare. Calls himself the Lord of the Manor, or other people call him that anyway, because his parents have got a rather plush house, but he doesn't come from a privileged background or anything like that. It's just a bit of a ring gimmick more than anything else.
Well, 2 thinking fighters, but they've certainly set off at a decent pace.
Nice and economic from Hare there. Oh, Barnes nails him with one left hand. Just lost his balance for a moment there, Hare. Barnes has started off looking as if he was going to be quite an explosive puncher. He won 5 of his first 6 inside 3 rounds, but lately, 4 of the last 5 gone the full route. He's had hand trouble. That might be an explanation for that as well. Good right hand again from Hare in there.
This is not going to be an easy one to score right enough. I mean, 2 good cagey pros here with that little bit more experience.
Very, very close round.
Sunday, Brian Robson, former West Brom player, manages his first game against his old club, Middlesbrough.
Amazing.
Then, it's to St James's Park for one of the biggest games of the season. Newcastle Man United.
Game on.
After disappointing results, to get back into the title race, it's a must-win for both. A Ford Super Sunday double, Sunday from 1, Sky Sports 1.
Them jabs hitting. You're punching just out of range. Make him hit him. Might take that quarter step further in.
Brian Hughes, the trainer of David Barnes, who, by the way, is preparing a new book on Howard Winston for release next year. He's a writer too.
Well, the little replays there seem to fade. That was just a stumble from here. The replay certainly faded up. Here's what. But that was a very, very close round. I left it level.
3rd round. Winston, by the way, the great featherweight of the 1960s from Wales. Blue waistband, remember, of David Barnes, the man who famously or notoriously, take your pick, had to serve 60 days in the glass house for going absent without leave from the army. His trainer made sure he did that so he could then get on with his career properly, rather than be on the run, so to speak.
Well, Barnes everybody feels he was lucky to win the British title, so do I, but he's definitely growing into the part, looking like a real confident champion. But this is a tough defence for him.
Slightly tentative display so far from Hare, just looking for counters and not imposing himself really on the fight at the moment.
The other thing here is being allowed to box the fight he wants to box.
That's better from Hare. Now he starts to let the punches go. That was a nice burst, the best we've seen from either fighter, I should say, so far.
See, here has lovely balance, so when the opportunity comes up, he can let 4, 5, 6 punches go, as he did there.
The sort of received wisdom, Jim, on this fight was that Hare, although it was a sort of 50-50 kind of fight, just might know a bit too much at this stage for Barnes. But I saw it as a pick-em going in this.
Yeah, well, I slightly favoured Barnes before the fight, just because his form has been improving, and I didn't feel that James Hare's was. But very, very close at the moment. Can't really split them too much at the moment. Hare doing well in this round.
Yeah, he just sort of walked onto the right hand, finding some interesting angles. Oh, there's a right hand, and that definitely wobbled Hare, who's in a bit of trouble from that. That was an explosive shot from Barnes, who gets it with 2 left as well. Now this takes off in the 3rd round. Now it's not so much the chess match. Hare was hurt, all right.
There's eye damage to Hare. Hare's left eye looks like it's setting to close. Right eye's damaged as well. What a turnaround there.
Shoots a glance at his cornerman. Hare doesn't seem too badly affected though, but there's swelling around the eyes and nicks as well for Hare. Big right hand doing the damage from Barnes, who gets it with a body shot as well. He's taken over the round here after Hare had that good burst early on.
He definitely, right from the first bell, has looked physically stronger. It looks as though he can stand his ground. Here has to be cute, but he certainly turned that all the way around.
And goes back to the wrong corner at the end of the round. Hare, bit disorientated. Biggish round for Barnes in the end.
I thought somebody got in. Yeah, listen, relax. You've got one shot in eye, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
You're winning a round, you're outboxing him, okay? You've got a little mouse under your eye. Okay, we'll get to work on it.
That was not in the script for Hare, was it, this?
Yeah, certainly, well, and I agree with his corner. He was nicking the round up to that point with the cuter boxing, but that turned it all the way around. The real meaty punches in that round came from the champion, and you could see the big problem at the moment. He's taken a couple of shots himself, come right through them, but that really troubled James Hare right to the boots.
Does that mean that Barnes is the puncher in this fight?
Well, I think we expected that. I mean, Hare does it on perfect timing. Barnes does have power, he has physical strength, whereas James Hare can do it on timing and technique.
Round 4.
It's a very nasty welt, Jim, underneath the left eye of Hare, and a nick underneath the right as well. After that barrage from Barnes at the end of round 3, here comes the 4th for the British Welterweight Championship, the classic 10.5 stone division. Hare's hit by 2 more shots, and again has to go into retreat, and then an uppercut from Barnes, whose confidence grows.
Yeah, I've always said, Ian, if a fighter can come through what you've got, then you get serious troubles, and that might be Hare's big trouble here. Barnes is able to walk right through what he's got.
Crucially in the build-up to this fight, as we try to make ourselves heard amid the din here, Barnes has been pain-free from those fragile hands of his. He's been using all kinds of cushioning effects on the hands.
There's definitely a mature look about young Barnes' work tonight.
Hare still looking for things on the counter. But Barnes at the moment is looking the boss in there. It's a confident, almost swaggering look about him.
Barnes has looked so relaxed, so the punches, the counter punches come off nice, the flow nice and steady.
That left eye of Hare is closing up a bit. The left hand puts him down. More trouble here for the former Commonwealth champion. Counts at 6. Gets up at 8. Little bit unsteadily. Looks a little woozy. Does Hare? Is he right for the taking now from Barnes? Oh, and another left crashes through Hare. He's a bit disorientated and in trouble. An uppercut, 2. Get him right hand and left.
Barnes just wants to settle down and pick his punches here. This is where a bit more experience, although having said that, he's being accurate. He's not wasting shots, but there's a big chance here to finish the job. A couple of good clean shots is what's needed here.
This would be a performance to really make people sit up and take notice from Barnes. If he can conclude the job here, it's going his way in a big way at the moment. Fast hands, you see. Barnes is quite happy to box on the front foot. He isn't looking just to counter all the time. His camp were telling me in midweek they were going to go for it a bit. They weren't going to turn it into a Boris Spassky v Bobby Fischer type of affair.
Yep, big trouble for James Hare. That was a blinder. I mean, that would have put half the welterweight side down. That was a beauty. Bang on the chin. They recovered from it well, but that's taken just at a time when Hare maybe needed a little bit of confidence building because he wasn't producing his best form. He gets quite the opposite. Did well to come back from that, and full credit to the lesser experienced Barnes. He kept a cool head, landed a few more damaging punches, but didn't go crazy. Just settled down. See what they're telling him.
Benny King with work to do, one of the best cutmen around. Very angry, that swelling, and it's closing up a bit. That's going to be the problem, whether that left eye closes. Quite a part of from the power that's being unleashed by young David Barnes here.
Well, Hare must find one of those special little well-timed punches that he's done so often in the past to take some of the sting out of this fellow's boxing, because his confidence is sky high.
Career best display so far, this from David Barnes. Let's face it, he was lucky the night he won the title against Jimmy Vincent, according to most people anyway, but that was another thumping left hand.
See, people say that Hare is not bothered by southpaws, but you forget every southpaw is different. There's no two southpaws the same, and he's never solved out the jab of David Barnes.
Jim, an ex-southpaw himself, of course, so he'd know. Speed and power from Barnes on display tonight. This is a fight that crosses the promotional divide. We don't get many of them. Barnes from Frank Warren Sports Network organisation, Hare from the Matchroom team. Led by Tommy Gilmore, who's part of that setup. Straight right that time from Barnes. Hare needs something really to make Barnes think a little bit here, maybe to unleash a power punch or two of his own.
See, Hare is being kept off balance. I think Barnes is doing it naturally. I don't think he's the experience to do this on purpose, but he's doing it, and Hare can't really get any punches in his punches.
Can't quite work out David Barnes, even though, of course, he's been sparring with southpaws and looking okay doing it.
He has a bad habit of leaning in with a jab, James Hare, and just leaving the jab out there. He's done it a couple of times and gotten away with it, but at this stage he knows this fella can hurt him. He's going to have to get his defences together a bit quicker.
Barnes again looking for a fast right hand. That's nice work there. Just looking to switch the angles a bit and getting his jab into play. Hare needs more of that.
Both landed punches there, but the better ones coming from Barnes. Good punch from Hare, partly blocked.
Yeah, he parried most of it and came back with something of his own, did Barnes. His Hare just coming through the bad patch a little bit though here in the later stages of this round.
Still like the relaxed look of David Barnes. I mean, it belies his experience. He's settled from the first bell tonight. He settled. There were no sign of nerves, and he's really boxing well. Another good right hook.
Nice right from Hare there. There's a little bit of damage under the right eye of Barnes. A little bit of swelling, nothing much.
Another of our emerging British champions returns to action next week on Friday Fight Night. Heavyweight Matt Skelton defending the British and Commonwealth titles against Keith Long. That's next Friday night, Sky Sports 1 from 10.
Seconds out, round 6.
Getting on for the halfway point in this contest, in which James Hare was hurt badly in the third, floored in the fourth, and is carrying eye damage as well. It's been a confident display, this, from the defending champion David Barnes, who is looking to win a Lonsdale belt to keep. These days you have to clock up 4 British Championship victories to do that. In the past it used to be 3.
Yeah, Hare is now moving to his left, trying to get outside the jab.
Can Hare work out the problems? He's usually a very good technician, or has looked it in the past. I suppose the question is, was Hare's best form 18 months ago, as his left eye closes a bit more? Now then, that's better from Hare there. Barnes comes back with a couple of clubbing lefts.
That is the big problem for Hare. When they exchange punches, he is the one who comes off worst. So he's got to land and get himself out of there. No easy task, as Barnes, his reflexes are sharp. He's really prepared well for this.
Just looking the heavier hitter of the two at the moment. But I've seen Hare set his feet and unleash some pretty good shots in his time as Commonwealth champion. So don't write him out the equation just yet. Good shot again, and that's hurt him. Went right through to the sole of his boots. Delayed action fall. Hare's in a lot of trouble now. Counts at 6. 8. He's going to be stopped. It is over. David Barnes has the Lonsdale belt to keep, and that was a career best performance tonight. He really looked the business.
Yeah, when David Barnes won the title, he was lucky, but I said I believed it would grow into a real sturdy, respected British champion. I didn't expect him to do it quite in this fashion or quite as quickly as this, but that was a wonderful performance, maturity, everything, against a man so much more experienced than he was. He took control right from the off, and you cannot fault that performance. And the punching, you could see the effect, the delayed action, that's when you know he had really landed a beauty. The delayed action just can't cope with his power.
He just out-punched him, didn't he, tonight, really, among other things?
Yeah, he outboxed him, which was the surprise. His tactics were right, everything was right. Didn't allow him to produce his best moves. Just kept on top of him, didn't allow him room to work. Hare tried everything he could to get himself back into the fight, but just couldn't quite manage that.
A supreme triumph for the Brian Hughes camp, the Collyhurst Gym in inner city Manchester, and for David Barnes himself. Big row about it when he won the British title. Frankly, we thought he was plain lucky to do it. No doubts about that tonight, none at all.
No, he's a worthy British champion now who shouldn't fear anyone at this level, and who knows in the future which level he will reach.
Well, he can think of bigger things after that. Hare, that always looked to be the likely conclusion of the fight. He staggered up at about 9 1/4, but the referee Marcus McDonough was spot on. No way he should have been allowed to take more. What a win. He's got a right to celebrate as David Barnes.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we render the decision, referee Marcus McDonough would like to show an appreciative round of applause for both boxers, please. A marvellous contest. After 1 minute and 41 seconds of round number 6, referee Marcus McDonald has called a halt to the contest. In his opinion, the challenger James Hare was in no position to continue. Your winner, and now he owns the Lonsdale belt outright. From Manchester, David Barnes. Steward in charge from the British Boxing Board of Control, Mr. Dennis Longton, along with the General Secretary, Mr. Simon Block, will now present the belt to the winner, David Barnes.
And they said it would be a chess match for 12 rounds. Some reaction